Hello, everybody, and welcome to Pillar of Harmony Tarot. Today, I'll be doing some general messages for no signs in particular, but for whoever's watching, this is what you might need to hear today. So, with everything that's going on in the world so far, it might be hard to deal with a lot of the energies. Not going to get too deep into the astrology of it all, but I'm going to pull some cards. Oh, thank you very much, Spirit. And I have some oracle cards on my side here to ask your guides. Okay, so as soon as I said ask your guides, all the cards came out, and right on top we've got our High Priestess, our Pillar of Harmony mascot, if you will. So it feels like there is a collective awakening. I feel like a lot of people are really waking up to the fact that there's definitely something beyond this physical life. And it feels like a lot of people are finally waking up to this understanding that the powers that play, the governments that be in the countries that they're at, are really not good. Honestly, and it does cause a lot of cognitive dissonance in people, this black and white thinking. They're really understanding that, as much as the governments keep them safe, as much as the countries that they're in are good countries, every country has, good and bad in it, just like a lot of things in life. But the truth is that there has to be this harmonization, right? Pillar of harmony is that you have to bring the black and white together and make your own shade of gray, really. And that's where we're at. This is this feeling that people are becoming a lot more responsible for their own thinking instead of completely giving up their responsibility to other authorities to make decisions for them. All right. So I'm going to leave the cards as they were like this when they fell out. These four came out together, so let's see. So we have Judgment, we have the Queen of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. So again, this is feeling like a more general reading, no one in particular, but if it resonates with you, right, the macro and the micro, this could be playing out in your own life in some way. So here we have Judgment, some sort of announcement or declaration of sorts. The Queen of Pentacles is someone who is a motherly figure that is a provider. It could be a grandmother per se who's, leaving an inheritance maybe. A mother who is working very hard to provide for her children. Here I'm seeing a uniting of nations, I want to say, just like here, these two, right, pillars, and a uniting of emotions per se. And here we have the Knight of Wands, and I'm getting Trump. I'm looking at this orange hair in a way that he has this fire on his back, and I'm getting Trump. This is really giving me this presidential charging energy, this really passionate person who's making these changes in the world. Okay, low-key, this is giving me Melania with her Melania coin. All right, so let's just leave it at that. So here we have Strength. Okay, so 5 of Pentacles, 3 of Pentacles. Okay, that's on the bottom. We can't really see that here. And 8 of Wands. So I'll bring these up here. Can't really see them. There we go. Okay. So with the Strength here, on the right side of our reading here, is I'm getting that in the future, this moving forward, how to move forward from this predicament that everything is in. So the Strength here is the 8, is the infinity, and this is telling me that a lot of people will need to lean into their belief system. They will need to draw strength from the system that brings them peace. And this isn't an ignorance where I'm just going to turn a blind eye and pretend like nothing's happening in the world, but it is a sense of, do I have what I need right now? Am I able to provide for myself? Am I able to provide for my family? And look for things that are immediate in your environment that you can draw strength from. It could be your community, it could be your friend circle, it could be your mentors that you look up to. So moving forward, strength is going to be necessary to keep going and not get bogged down by these things that are happening in the world. A lot of willpower, this yellow for the solar plexus, is to work on being true to yourself, in the sense that not to pretend like you have everything under control and be egotistical, but to rely on your own self-confidence and know that you have the strength inside of you to pull through and lean on systems of belief when you need to. So directly in line with this bottom line here, we have the Five of Pentacles. And what this is telling me is that this is, in a way, like a subconscious belief. So under this Strength card, the subconscious belief here is that we will fail, right? So as a collective, it feels like we are driven to do things because of the fear of failure, the fear of being abandoned, left behind, out in the cold, which is the standard meaning for this card. So it drives us to either pretend like we have it all together and keep going and draw fake strength, or to surrender to this feeling of abandonment and helplessness, really. Excuse me. So here with these two cards that came out at the bottom down here, so what I'm getting here is this collaboration. So once again, this collaboration of people, these three, it could be three countries, it could be, again, I'm feeling a really global collective message on this one. So I feel like this is a collaboration of three countries. I'm getting Anglo-Saxon. It could be North America in terms of the US, Australia, but I'm getting more like Ireland, England, could be wrong, but that's what I'm sensing here. So these three countries that are kind of power players in the world in terms of money, and one is definitely leading. Again, I'm sensing Trump here, and they're kind of leading the way and paving a road, a new way of being for the world. And here we have the Seven of Wands. Again, I'm sensing a lot of Trump energy here. This is really funny, but it feels like Trump is really fighting off all these haters, all these other people, all these leaders that are naysayers, and he's really fighting to bring something good into the world, even though it may not seem like it, right? It could on the surface look very scary and desperate, but on the long enough timeline, everything works out for the best, as it should. So I think what this is really asking us to do is to shift our perspective here, to really stay in our own power and develop this unshakable strength and belief in ourselves that we will pull through no matter what. Excuse me. So we will pull through no matter what. And to rely on our matriarchy, right? To understand that our lineages are passed on by the female form. And I know that sounds a little controversial because of the way that politics are and everything that's going on, but it's true. Women give birth to children, to the next generation, and in a way, it is this matrimony of the female form and the masculine form that comes together to bring a new era into the world. And it feels like this Trump figure, again, is ushering in this new era, this reconnection of this queen and this young masculine energy, this maternal figure, and this youthful male vigor that's coming together, right, to create new life in a new way. It's being overseen by these angels. It's being overseen by our higher self. And we need the strength. We need the strength to not fall into this feeling of being lost, this feeling of being helpless, right? When we're helpless, we turn to our mother. And funny enough, on the physical plane, our mothers are, everyone calls out for their mom when they're in trouble. I want my mommy. But ultimately, the mother figure is this high priestess. A lot of the times, priestesses were virgins, which never had children, but that also means that they're pure, right? So we have this idea of this mother, this pure mother, like a Virgin Mary in our own selves. We are the embodiment of the energy of creation. So on the physical plane, when we turn and run to our mommy, what we're really trying to do is run to ourselves, to really turn inwards and trust our own divinity. And I think that's what this strength card is really talking about here as well. It's just to turn back to ourselves, rely on ourselves, and give ourselves the authority and take responsibility for what is happening. Not to focus on the grander scheme of things and things that are out of your control, but focus on the things that you can do. In a way, this card is also telling me that to fend off anything that is vying for your attention that is not necessary in your life. For example, a lot of social media is vying for your attention. I saw an article recently that talks about how everything in this current landscape of the world is vying for our attention, right? Attention is the currency of social media. You're asked to sit there and scroll and pay attention to ads, to people's posts, to all sorts of things. And we have to take that attention back. We have to own and be responsible for where we put our most valuable resource. Two of them being our attention and our time. Focused attention and time together is how you literally manifest things. So if you want your world to change, you have to take the responsibility for it. You have to draw strength from your belief system and give attention to things that really matter, projects that really matter to you, instead of being frivolous with it and then feeling desperate and lonely and like you can't do anything in the world because anything you do won't matter, since on the grander scheme of things, it's irrelevant. This creates an existential crisis. People think that they're meaningless. Anything they do will be forgotten and irrelevant in life on the grand scheme of things. So what I'm getting is that we need to remember that we are important to the people in our lives, to our communities, and we are important to ourselves, to our own development and spiritual growth. We have our maternal figures with us in life or in spirit, and we have other masculine forces, leaders perhaps, in this physical plane who, for better or for worse, as it may seem now, are in fact looking out for us. So it's out of our control. All we can really do is vote, right? Like, as long as there is some sort of democracy, as long as there's some sort of choice, even the illusion of choice makes us feel like we have some sort of say in the matter, some sort of control. And that's all we can really do. Everything else, you have to, as they say, give it up to God and control what you do with your life. I think that's it. I think that's the end of the message there. Thank you, Spirit. Let's see at the bottom of the deck. We have the Six of Cups in reverse. So this is giving me the base of this all is past trauma that needs to be reconciled. So it could be reconciled with your own work, your own internal work, and the rest needs to be given up to the leaders of the world. You can't control what they do. All you can do is control yourself. So thank you, Spirit. All right. So thus being said, let's see what our Ask Your Guides cards say. If you're interested, these cards are right here. They're Ask Your Guides by Sonia Choquette. So let's see what our guides have to say So please tell us what message we have to bring us into more clarity and into the next steps of this message. What does this message mean for us as a collective, as individuals? Please give me a card or two. Ooh. Okay. All right. Thank you, Spirit. So here we have Epiphany, higher self. This High Priestess, that's our higher self. That's what I was saying earlier. So Epiphany, this realization, right? The lotus blooming out. We have this physical body and this spiritual body. This physical body is here for a short time. And on this physical plane, it's number 18. Together 18 is the number 9, which is completion. And it does feel like that on a collective scale. It feels like this completion of a cycle, and a new cycle is beginning. And, you know, new things are hard. Growing pains are difficult. So, again, I love this color. It's this, like, kind of limey green, but also yellow, which reminds me of the Strength card. It's this blooming out of the darkness, this lotus flower that grows in the darkness. It blooms into the light. Again, the yellow with the person here. And just like I was saying, we need to understand, have this epiphany, this realization that our higher self is always there for us, to understand that it's not black and white, to understand that we need to make our own decisions and be our higher self, to embody the darkness and the light together, to bring together our physical, maternal energies into our spiritual energies. And that's what I'm getting just by looking at this card. So let me put it here and I can read what it says in the little booklet. Okay, Epiphany, higher self. You can pause this and read it for yourself if you'd like. It says, inspiration, breakthrough, revelation, divine guidance. Again, what I was saying about leaning on your strength of your belief system. So congratulations, you're finally getting out of your head and connecting more directly with your soul. The flow of communication between you and your higher self is strengthening daily, allowing you to directly access your spirit guides, angels, and spirit teachers more readily. As your contact with your higher self deepens, answers will suddenly plop into your consciousness like gifts from above. Your aha moments will appear with greater frequency, like light bulbs switching on in your head. Over and over, you will find yourself in the right place at the right time, trusting your intuition, leaning on your divine guidance. Under the influence of your higher self, you're steadily becoming more spontaneous, dancing in synchronistic flow with life rather than swimming upstream against the current. Your higher self encourages you to unhesitatingly trust your vibes at all times. Surrender your ego to them, remember? And allow yourself to be gently led rather than yielding to old ways of figuring things out. Old ways of fighting against things, right? Old ways of things fighting for your attention. Try something new, try something different. Try to not follow and fall into that algorithmic social media feeding frenzy that's happening. Be more mindful with the choices you make, right? All right. You're being gifted with endless spiritual direction and a deeper understanding of your soul's journey. Remain in constant dialogue with your higher self and ask it to override your limited perception and keep you on your true path. Then go with the flow. Your higher self's message, listen to me. So again, the world in general right now needs to just go with the flow. Listen to the higher self. And it could be counterintuitive to things that you've been used to. But it could lead you, and it probably will lead you, and as most things do, the universe is conspiring in your favor. Everything that happens, whether it seems like it or not, is truly for our highest good. So with that, I'm going to leave this off. I hope this helped, and tune in for next time. Bye.